redneck truckers are trying to have their way with me!
Not while my scrotum is pressed up against my stomach in these jeans, they won't. Roadhouse.
Okay, quick review, or just real quick, because this movie wasn't that engaging to me. So, I saw Roadhouse 2024 on Amazon Prime, and it was very mid. In case you don't know, Roadhouse is an old movie from the 90s, and this is the new remake starring Jake Gyllenhaal. And Jake Gyllenhaal plays Dalton, mercenary for hire, even though in the original it's supposed to be a bouncer, but this one they changed it. So he's basically a mercenary, past UFC fighter, who now takes big bucks and travels the world like a loose cannon. But he's actually the best part of the movie, because he feels like an unstoppable force, a very tough nut. And he's here to getting paid to protect this bar in the Florida Keys called the Roadhouse. And because this place is overrun by douchebags every single night. But then again, that's Florida for you. So the thing that threw me off is that this guy is actually really polite to the bad guys, and he actually just talks minimal shit to them. And I didn't expect that, but I did like how he was protecting everybody, and then he felt like a superhero. I thought that was pretty cool. And I did like throughout the course of the movie that he forms relationships with other people, and he starts becoming the mentor figure to teach the bouncers of the Roadhouse, because eventually if he's ever to be gone, they could take his place and use his ways. And I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was nice and smart. And Daniela Melchior is in this movie. That was a pleasant surprise. Her character as Ellie, she was nice as the love interest, and I did enjoy seeing her, so that was a W. Now let's get to the stuff that I didn't rock with so much. And that's the big bad guys. Like, I thought it was just a common gang, just drunk from beer, causing problems, and just have it at that, simple. But no, there's an actual huge other part. There's a crime boss who's a complete douchebag, spoiled rich kid, and he hires an Australian man who sounds like Kano from Mortal Kombat. And that is Conor McGregor's character. Now, Conor McGregor did his best job of what he was given, but he felt kind of out of place, and that's kind of wild for me to say, because in this movie, he just plays a crazy person. Over the top, over eccentric, loose cannon that he plays. And I don't know, it just felt kind of weird, but it did lead to something good in the end, and I'll get to that in a minute. And Billy Magnuson's character, he's the boss of the gang that terrorizes the Roadhouse and terrorizes that neighborhood of stores the whole movie. And I don't know, he just didn't seem imposing. He didn't seem menacing. He didn't even seem like this guy's bad news. He just seemed like a rich boy who was like, oh, I don't know, like, my dad is the real big bad, I'm just doing this shit down in the Florida Keys. I don't know, it just didn't rock with me, because even his henchmen are kind of wimpy looking and twerpy looking. Like, every time a guy is trying to scare Dalton and they're trying to get him in a car and be like, hey, the boss wants to talk to you, I need to get you in the car, are you gonna come or not? And they take the gun and they show him that they're armed. I don't know, it just didn't seem imposing. It just seemed kind of weird and dorky. It's not scary. And some of the action scenes have just such over-the-top, over-exaggerated action. It just seems fake. I'm like, bro, I'm so over this. There's some parts where I was like, yeah, these guys should have died, and yet they survive. I'm like, what the fuck? And at least one scene was realistic when the guy gets killed by the crocodile. Oh, sorry, spoilers, but I don't really care, because it was like the only satisfying kill in the movie. I'm not saying that wasn't over-exaggerated. Like, the criminal guy doesn't jump in the water and start beating the shit out of the alligator like Happy Gilmore or some shit. Those over-exaggerated action scenes are just so weird, and they seem very out of place in this type of movie. Also, this movie is way too long. Like, oh my god, the pacing in this movie sucks. It's like, geez, this story is so simple. Why does it have to be so stretched out like this? It doesn't need to be over 2 hours long. Like, my goodness. Also, the tone's kind of inconsistent, because the first part of this movie is like a grounded bouncer story about a mercenary past UFC fighter trying to protect this bar, and then it turns into a super explosive action water movie. I'm like, bro, what the hell? thing that I absolutely loved in this movie is the fights. The hand-to-hand fights are badass. I thought that was pretty cool because Jake Gyllenhaal has some pretty good scenes, especially the end scene with Dalton versus Kano from Mortal Kombat. That scene was hard. I did enjoy that. So good action. Well, good hand-to-hand action, I'd say. In the end, I didn't really enjoy this movie that much. It could have been so much better if it was just trimmed down and not so overstuffed, but whatever. If this movie was simpler, it would have been better. Like I said, just leave it at that. That, and also if the tone was like in its pocket, like they knew exactly what kind of tone they wanted, and then changed so drastically throughout the film. That would have been way better too. But no, this movie does not do that. I'll probably never watch this again. It was just sounded interesting. Wanted to give it a shot. That was it. Jake Gyllenhaal's the best part of the movie. And now I'm done here. Verdict time. Roadhouse 2024 gets a D.